Good afternoon for those of you watching from the UK. If you are watching from elsewhere, good morning or good evening, depending on your time zone. I know we've got lots of people registered for this live stream from all over the world. So we are interested to know where in the world you're watching from. Pop a note in the comments. I'm really pleased to be joined today by Martin Perry from Technogym to just give you a quick update on what happened with LetsMove and talking about celebrating the whole challenge. So for those of you who don't know, Martin, quick intro.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, evening, everyone. Martin Perry, I'm Digital Manager for Technogym UK, so it's a pleasure to be joining you here today, Guy. Yeah, looking forward to celebrating the Let's Move campaign.
Brilliant, thank you. And for those of you who don't know, my name's Guy Griffiths. I sometimes forget to intro myself. We help clubs to get their members to stick around longer. And we've done 3 of these live streams now. The first one was on preparing for Let's Move. The second one was engaging. And this third one is on celebrating. You might think the hard work is all over now, but there are still lots of things to do and more challenges out there. So we want to take 10-15 minutes or so to run through what you should be doing to make the most of Let's Move. Yes, it did finish on Friday, but there's still a lot you can do. So hopefully there's lots of tips here that's going to help you to get your members to stick around longer and engage with more members and all the guests that joined you through Let's Move. So I'm going to whiz through these slides. By way of an intro, if you were on the last live stream, the first 3 are very similar to before. We're going to talk about why, how, and what fitness challenges are in general, particularly ones on the Technogym My Wellness system. But this isn't exclusively for My Wellness customers. You could be running challenges wherever. So just quickly, because some of you might have seen this before, why do we do challenges? Well, when they are simple and inclusive and varied, they boost retention. They get members coming back for more. They create communities within your club. Let's Move for a Better World is one of my favorite challenges that runs every year. Well, pandemic aside, it's very simple. You just have to move and it creates a better world, simply. It is super inclusive. Anyone can join in. Any moves count. Even if you just turn on your app and go for a walk, those moves can be collected. So it's great for everyone and it's super simple. So it does boost retention. And we've got a few stats on that. But in a nutshell, and particularly Let's Move, it gets your members more active, gets them visiting more. It creates a vibe in the club. It creates social media content, but you can also get actual socials running in the club. I know a lot of people were running yellow parties or disco nights, these kind of things, to get more members going around Let's Move. And it's not just for existing members, it's for new members as well. So lots of whys. I could go into it for just spend 10 minutes on that. But just a couple of stats. The last 6 editions of Let's Move really saw big facility visit boosts and also membership boosts as well. So that's one of the big follow-ups we need to do in this Celebrate session, is get those guests to sign up to your club if we can. That's the why. Just quickly into the how we run challenges. We invite people through My Wellness. We invite them on email or put details into the newsletter. The best way of getting more people into a challenge is to talk to them, to interact with them at every single opportunity. I won't run through them all, but every time you're doing a program review, you should be saying, I just want you to run a bit further on the treadmill this week because it's going to help us move more and get more move points. Or when you're doing a PT session, let's just go a little bit further or lift a little more weight to get some more moves into the bank. In terms of invitation, let me just throw to Martin a little bit quickly here, because there is best practice for inviting people to challenges, Martin, right?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So you've got a few options in how you invite through My Wellness. One of the things for consideration is how up to date is your database. So if you're working with one of our CRM partners, they move people when they leave you into an ex-member, back into a member. If not, one of the easiest ways to do this is to group people based on their visit status. So maybe you create an automatic group, as we're seeing here, called active users, and that's everyone who's visited or engaged with you in the last 30 days, for example. By doing that, then you can send the invite to that specific group. What that then means is, if you've got people who perhaps haven't been into the facility for a little while, or you're not that sure how up to date your database is, you're making sure that you're only contacting the most very relevant people via mass communication methods. And exactly as Guy said, then you focus and lean into the face-to-face. So create an automatic group, let it run overnight just for it to populate. you then invite the group of participants and send it specifically to them rather than necessarily inviting everyone.
Perfect. Thanks, Martin. So that's for future reference as well, not just for Let's Move. If you're inviting people to challenges, don't invite the inactive ones, basically. The dormant members, you probably don't want to wake them up. I'm kind of doing myself out of a job. But that's a lot of what we do, is we try and stop members from becoming dormant. But listen, just all the way back to the top, if you run great challenges all the time, you'll have less dormant members. So, and actually, I'm not in the business of waking up dormant members. I'm in the business of getting people fitter and healthier. That's what we want to do. So the what, in terms of Let's Move and in terms of challenges, I mean, it's very simple. We sign people up to Let's Move and then we get them moving. That's pretty much it. But all challenges should be like that. And if they are simple, inclusive and varied, then you'll get lots and lots of your members engaged and visiting more regularly, bringing more friends down. So challenges are just one of the great mechanisms for retention. So the 3 areas that we've run through, we talked a month ago now about preparing for the challenge. You can go back and watch these again. We talked about engaging with more members on the weekend before Let's Move started. And today we're going to run through Celebrate. So 3 or 4 different things that we should be doing now the challenge is finished, to get the most out of it. Before we jump into the Celebrate area, we've actually got some of the results from Let's Move. And I'm going to ask Martin again to just take us through some of the numbers there, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's phenomenal to have the campaign up and running again. As Guy mentioned, we unfortunately had to take a little break over the last couple of years. This is the first edition we've run since 2019. I'm really pleased to say it's back with a bang. So over 50 countries engaged around the world. That comprised over 1,000 facilities, over 100,000 participants. So members of facilities, be that clubs, corporate offices, universities, hotels, and all in all together, everyone generated over 353 million moves. So a tremendous amount of movement, energy, and buzz within that. That obviously leads us to the leaderboard. Big congratulations to the team out in Holland. So a staggering 58 million moves in total, and 17,000 participants left them the top of the leaderboard as far as the countries are concerned. Very proud to say the UK came in a second place, 14,000 people engaged and 43 million moves. Keeping us honest all the way with Spain. Last but not least, came in third place with 37 million moves and 10,000 participants. So a phenomenal effort involved. Really, really, truly a global result.
Yeah, and I just want to do a little shout out to Macedonia and Azerbaijan, who, in the whole inclusiveness of the challenge, Benelux and UK and Spain are smashing it out of the park. But, getting 20,000 moves from Macedonia or 26,000 moves from Azerbaijan, it all counts, and they're all part of that whole country leaderboard.
Absolutely, it's truly global, guys. So some fantastic, 50 countries. Great to have everyone involved. There'll be more next time, absolutely, as well.
And in terms of some of the top clubs here, Martin, tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, absolutely. So Galasport, Photopia and Tesca as the top 3 there. You can see huge volumes of participation. So really got the majority of the club users engaged, bringing in 5 and 4 million moves respectively, which is fantastic. Also a big shout out there to Karen and the team at Glasgow Toll Cross, top UK facility in there. Had the privilege of visiting during Let's Move, and the team just totally embraced the spirit and the concept of the challenge, engaging communities, and you can really see that in the average number of moves. So, they had nearly a third in some cases of the top 3 participants, but you can see the people they got engaged, so engaged, great volumes of tracking as well. So, congrats to the top 3, and a big congrats to Glasgow Toll Cross as well.
Absolutely. So some incredible figures there, and the engagement levels across the board were fantastic. So thanks, Martin, for some of those numbers. If you do have any questions, then please shout them out, put them in the comments wherever you're watching from. Sharon Campbell, hands up and whoop. Yeah, well done, Glasgow. And also, if you're watching this on catch up later on, please do comment wherever you're watching, YouTube, LinkedIn or Facebook. Martin and I won't probably jump on immediately, but we will try and answer any questions you've got post-event. And if you want to look back, hopefully in the comments there, I've just added a couple of links. I don't know whether they'll work that well, but if you want to go back and look at the prepare or engage sessions, then those are there. You can go back and look at those on LinkedIn or on YouTube. So in terms of celebrating this challenge, I mean, hopefully, if you paid attention to the last webinar or watched that, then you celebrated throughout. And the celebrations shouldn't start, as the challenge finishes. They need to start as the first person, hits 2,000 moves, or as the club reaches certain milestones. But don't stop now that the challenge is finished. We need to carry on celebrating and make the most of this. We put a lot of work into it. So first things first, get back on your messaging tool and in your MailChimp or whatever campaign monitor you're using to send out newsletters, and say thank you to everyone. And also say thank you to everyone verbally in the club as well, of course. That's the main way of getting people engaged in the challenge itself. And while you're sending out those comms, announce how well your club has done and how well the country has done. And if you've got any photos there from spot prizes that you gave out, share them again. Share it across all your channels. If you can get local papers involved, I've seen this happen a few times at clubs who've done very well at LetsMove, or even those who've just collected a few thousand moves. We got this far. We lifted this much weight. We burnt this many calories. We went this many times around the world, or from across the country, or whatever else. So share all that information and make the most in this week following the challenge of keeping that buzz alive and keeping it going, because some of your members will probably feel a bit flat because it's finished and they want to know what next, which I'll come on to next. In terms of the guests who got involved, we do need feedback from them, but most importantly, if you did have any guests or members bringing friends down, now is the time, while they're still buzzing off the back of this challenge, to get, maybe there's an offer, or maybe it's just, well, obviously you want to join our club now because you know how great it is. It doesn't have to be a special offer. But if it is, you might sign a few more members up. It's not just about engaging with your existing members. It is about bringing new people in or bringing new communities into your club. So that's the other angle on LetsMove. And then carry on talking to your members. So ask them, what they enjoyed about it, and ask them what they want next. Hopefully you've got an idea of what you're doing next. And if you do have a challenge ready, then let's get them signed up for it now while they're still buzzing off the back of the last one. It's not best to do challenges back to back, literally finish one on a Friday, start the next one on a Monday. But you should have an idea of what's coming next, and have people getting ready for it. We normally suggest a challenge that lasts a week or two. You can run them for a month, but you do need gaps in between them for people to just relax and get ready for the next one. So in terms of the next challenge, what's it going to be? Hopefully some of you have got an idea. If you have got one set up and ready to go, or if you're even running one already, let us know what it is in the comments. If you haven't, then build a challenge timetable so that you've got something running each month throughout the year. This is an example from the challenge playbook that we've got. You can download it later. There's a free link for it. But I know a lot of clubs have downloaded the playbook and then have used this and the blank template that comes with it to just set out what they do each year. So off the back of this, I would always say the April challenge, and the one that we often run for clubs, is a simple run a marathon over the course of this month. You've got 26 days, run 26 miles, or even the full 31 days. Let's make it simple and inclusive. And we've run that at lots of clubs, an April run a marathon challenge. But what we always do, just really to make this simple, is we'll say, there's also a half marathon challenge, because a lot of your members will struggle to run a marathon even in 30 days. So why not have two challenges, a half marathon or a full marathon? People can join both. People can complete both. It's not about challenging the best runner to win. It's about getting all your members involved. Or another example, team challenges are always popular. So, which team can do the most classes or do the most workouts? Instructor-led challenges are always really engaging and really get your instructors having to talk to your members, which is what we want and which is what's going to be good for retention. So have another challenge in mind, or if you don't yet, think of one before the end of today. Get it planned in for after Easter maybe, and you can have it set up and people signing up for it already. And you'll be able to take the vibe and the good kind of feeling and all that social value that you've got from LetsMove forward. Make it simple, inclusive, and varied. So something different to moves. Hence the suggestion for a simple running challenge or a team challenge, and vary it up. I think I've probably done this to death, but I'll say it again. The best challenges are not that challenging. Okay. You don't want a challenge that one person wins on day one. You want a challenge that hundreds of people can take part in and feel a sense of achievement. So we want to motivate all your members. We don't want to motivate the keen gym bunnies because they're going to come back anyway, whatever you do to them. We want to motivate the people that need the motivation, and keep them simple, inclusive, and varied, and you'll hit the right spots. So in terms of how to celebrate LetsMove, that's our nutshell, if you like, today. A couple of final points. I mentioned it before, but in terms of the Technogym support and things there, technogym.com/LetsMove is still there. All the stats are there, so pull some of those off and use them in your newsletters and social posts. Lots of ideas there, lots of things you can share, videos and stuff as well. If you do want that challenge timetable, and I think probably 20 plus other challenge ideas, most of which are aimed at the My Wellness system, but you could run them without My Wellness if you wanted. But download the challenge guidebook from ggfit.com/challenge, free download, a great resource. Lots of people use that to either guide them or to bring up new ideas for new challenges. But ultimately, we just want people to be running more challenges and engaging more with their members. And honestly, LetsMove is a great one. But my main message is don't let your next challenge be LetsMove 2024. Run another challenge in April and then another one in May, either with the challenge app or something completely different. If there's any more questions, we'll take them. Drop a note in wherever you're watching this from. Martin, have you got anything else to add as a wrap up?
Yeah, I think just quickly, actually, Guy, and it's going back a couple of points just towards the the celebrate and the engage part of it. We've obviously mentioned the top performers on the webinar. Also, it's just great to see the number of facilities who took part in the yellow days. So dressing up. Saw some great posts on social media from Crowwood, from Dolphin Centre, from the club company as well. So great, really seeing that amplification that you talked about of the social messaging. City Space always do go to town on the decor as well. So they have balloon arches, the buzz, the facility around it. So it's a student facility up in University of Sunderland. Last but not least as well, just actually with Odyssey, they always do a great job on incentivizes and little sub prizes as well, which obviously promotes other aspects of their facility, but gives those extra incentives to get people involved. So by no means exhaustive, great things going on across the, the 200 odd facilities from the UK that we're in, but a couple that really stood out of engagement beyond the ones we've mentioned already. Last but not least, then for me, for some of our customers, they'll be running challenges regularly. So echo your comment, don't let LetsMove 2024 be the next one you've run. You've got the momentum. Let's keep this movement going. If LetsMove was your first introduction into running challenges with Technogym, by all means, reach out to me, your account manager or digital specialist, if you'd like to do more of them. We'd be happy to help set you up. So, last message from me. I'm looking forward to doing the next challenges.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you are on a temporary LetsMove license, then get in touch with Martin or one of the digital team or your local digital team, wherever you are, to get you upgraded onto a more permanent challenge. Because just running these simple, inclusive, varied challenges each month, it's great for your staff, great for your members, and ultimately it will help retention, and it'll help people to get fitter and healthier. And back to the key message, for it to be a better world. So if you have any other questions, drop them in the comments if you're watching this on catch up, or reach out to Martin or myself for more ideas. Thank you very much for watching. We'll wrap it up there.
Thank you, Guy. Thanks, everyone.